Hello, it's AlinaGG, and today I have a very special guest for you. I have Aida. She's a spiritual activist and alchemist. Welcome
Mm.
aboard.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Deeply grateful to be in saying hello.
Yay. Oh,
Mm.
okay. Where do we begin?
Let's begin at the beginning.
Yes.
Where
Oh,
do we all begin?
so you're
Mm.
connected to these realms and
Mm.
it's happening.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny. Do I just share that we just tried to
Yeah.
connect in and we dropped out. And this is what happens when I often travel beyond dimensions and then we're out to the void and then void's like, okay, switch. And I'm like, no, we actually need to be recording this one. So quick recap. So yeah, absolutely. So spiritual activator and alchemist. So we had a quick moment about that when we first started. It's like, what does that even mean? It's like, we often hear this word activator and we're like, oh, I don't want to be activated, right? Because we have this fear thing because it has a negative connotation. But it's like, well, I guess it's kind of the light side of trigger. So we don't like the word trigger, but activated can be the same thing. So if we can reframe the word trigger to activated, then we get to see the blessing in what's being activated within us. So, activation or a trigger can be a good thing, or it can be a dissolving of your ego. It can be a dissolving of all that no longer serves you and the washing away of that. And then the pathway of the divine steps in and guides you on your way, which is the alchemy of this beautiful divine way. So yeah, I love taking people on that journey and I'm embracing this beautiful human experience that we so have and are deeply grateful for because this is why we're here to have this incredible experience.
Mm,
Mm.
wow. I mean, next level. I'm just gonna say next level. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
And part of this process, like everyone is, there's a lot of elevation going on and there's a lot of talk about consciousness and there's a lot of talk about 5D ascension. And then there's this almost division in the spiritual realms where people are like, well, we can either be the looking down, going, well, I'm more active than you, or I'm a little bit more spiritual than you, which is again causing separation, and which is leaving people in the 3D realm going, looking up, going, well, I don't know how to get there. How do I get there? What is this? And is it a thing? Is it a thing? So, whatever's going on the planet, if we can just remember love, if we can reach out and remember compassion, like love and miracles, like that's
Mm,
everything. Love and magic. You're love and miracles, and
mm,
I'm love and magic.
yeah. I'm
They're the
love
same
magic and
thing,
miracles. Yeah, all of it. And when you really
right?
like live that and invite that energy into your life and actually take responsibility for co-creating that energy, it's
Yeah.
amazing what shows up, isn't it?
And that is the thing. We are co-creators of our life. So, and this can often be an activation for a lot of people is that every experience that you have had up until this very moment, including this moment, you've signed up for in one way or another. You've invited in one way or another. And I believe we all have soul contracts before we come down onto this earthly plane. And from that space, it's done with a gift of love. So, whether it's been traumatic or amazing, which I believe everything's amazing, when we uncover the gold that's trapped within, the miracle that's in, the alchemy that's within, then we get to have this incredible experience of seeing the gift in that. Because in the spirit realm, and a lot of people are wanting to ascend to 5D and think it's all love and light. Well, let me tell you, my loves, when you get to 5D, it's shadow and light because it's both sides of the same, or two sides of the same coin. We need both. Contrast gives us clarity. And by having one experience, it gives us clarity on the other. And that's the gift in that alchemy. And really coming from that space of love and developing that Christ consciousness, if you wish, which I believe is truly 10th dimension because that's the home of Elohim. Yeah, but we are wanting to bring it into the 5D realm. What does that mean? It means love, it means compassion. It does mean reaching out and connecting with every single being, knowing that they are a simple mirror to you. And by giving that love and compassion to another, you're actually giving it to yourself. And that's the true alchemy of life. And that these beautiful human experiences that we're actually having here in this earthly 3D realm, that's why we're here. Yeah. As 5D or as spiritual beings, we don't get to experience love, sex, chocolate, miracles, magic because we're oneness. We're full love, which is a beautiful space to be. But without being in this 3D realm, we don't get to experience chocolate or fun or play or, snow and sunshine. And this is why we're here. So learning to embrace this beautiful human experience, learning to love it and all of its intricacies, all of its lessons is what we're here to do and return to a space of love. And by also saying that, I'm also saying we're not bypassing, we're not covering up our shadow, we're not pretending that ego doesn't exist. Like it's embracing all of those elements and really embracing this life. That's why we're here.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's great. Thank you. Could you
Mm.
please give me an example of a soul contract?
Oh yeah, of course.
Mhm.
So many. Your parents or soul family, so to speak. So, you know, we often come down and say soul contracts to me is every experience that you like the big things that have happened in your life. So for some that might be some trauma related to something that's happened at their birth or during their childhood developmental years. So their primary caregivers may have had a more traumatic upbringing, so to speak. So that can be an example of which. Or, well, there's a lot of tumultuous times happening around the earth right now. Dare we say, like what's happening in other countries where there's war-torn areas, right? That's part of their soul contract that they've chosen to come into this lifetime, experience that, and remember that we are love. So one prime example, and I often use this, is Hitler, right? Adolf came down to this earth and he was placed here and he said, yes, I will be this person and I will choose to, consciously or unconsciously, whilst I'm here, because once we've come down, all of our memories are wiped. We've come through as this beautiful newborn baby, right? Feeling that all of our needs will be met all of the time, because that's what we've kind of remembered, that we're source love. And then these experiences happen to us. We get brought out and brought into a certain environment. So we always have a choice, pathways. Do I follow this pathway of power, and which is what he did, right? Adolf or Hitler did. He chose power and he chose manipulation and he chose control, and he also had a band of people behind him who were guiding him, for want of a better word, into that. At any one moment, he could have stopped and gone, "This is not right. I can come back to a space of love. This is coming from fear, because there's only two ways to live: fear or love." And any one moment, he could have switched and gone, "No, this is true. This is my soul contract, and we have fate and we have destiny. So fate are the things we've signed up for. I've chosen to come in to be this dictator. And any one moment, I can switch. At any one moment, I can choose light. I can choose love. But the love of power, the love of control, the love of manipulation was all too heady and all too great. And that all consumed him. And he was fed fear. And that's why he chose this, because he bought into that. And I truly believe at any one moment we can switch, because we always have to, in every breath, we have to make a decision. What am I going to eat today? What am I going to think today? Yeah, what am I going to believe today? And a lot of our actions are stemmed from deep-seated belief systems. Not all of them are ours. So it's the unraveling of, is this belief actually true? Are these people wrong or are these people right? What is it like? Where does this stem from? And I truly believe that challenging all of your beliefs is the most powerful way of reclaiming your sovereignty, reclaiming your divinity and embodiment of such, and choosing what you believe is love or fear. Because, as Maya Angelou, to paraphrase, says, when we know better, we can do better. But we're all coming from this space of consciousness to what we know and we are at right now. And it's not until we have a greater understanding or knowledge, because knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is more powerful still. It's when we act on that knowledge. We all know that a salad's healthy for us or whole foods is healthy for us, but we're often tempted by a little bit of junk food or whatever you want to call junk or bad food. I don't believe anything's good or bad and evil. I don't believe you can say that evil exists in the world, but I just choose that they're coming from their shadow. They're coming from a space of fear. And everything and everyone deserves love.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Let that sit for a moment. I love it. And yeah, that can often activate people or trigger people going, that's BS. Like, that can't be true. Like, I'm just saying, just allow it to rest in your consciousness for a moment. And that's why cognitive dissonance can sometimes be so challenging. And that's where often ego death comes in. Like, what does that even mean? Like, I was led to believe there's a whole thing going on, right? Is the earth round or is the earth flat? I'm not here to argue either way. But like, I'm just saying, be open to hearing both sides and then choose. But choose what you feel is right for you. Choose from your level of belief system. And if someone comes across again and says, well, I think it's this, it's like, oh, let's have an open and loving conversation about this without attachment, without control, without fear. And then everything's on the table. Everything can be beautifully spoken and brought to light. Mm.
I feel like I want to ask the right question.
It's always perfect.
Yeah. Hmm. Breathe. Yeah. So we're being we're being activated, and we're being activated in more light and more love, and then we clear these triggers or activations that are a little bit shadowy. And then we raise our vibration, and then we show up with more light and love to those around us. And then that's raising the collective consciousness. And we have individual soul contracts. So that means, so we have free will as well. So we can choose in each moment. Let's talk about intuition, because why is it so important to strengthen your intuition, and how can that lead you to really living your soul's purpose in all dimensions?
Beautiful. Perfect question, right? Thank you. Intuition is what we often believe is how our oversoul, higher self is communicating with us, right? Or how the universe is communicating with us. So we want to tune into that and how you receive your unique messages, because then we're truly living from our highest self, from our highest realms. And when we allow ourselves to be guided by that, then we appreciate that we all have a unique soul expression, which I believe is our dharma, our soul mission. And you lovingly shared yours with me earlier, which was fantastic, to raise a level of consciousness on the world by sharing your beautiful platform with other like-minded beings so that you can connect to a greater range of like-minded beings. And as we say this, I'm seeing those beings like literally gridded across the planet. And that's what I truly believe, that this is what vibes are. We connect with our soul tribe. We connect with other like-minded beings so that we no longer feel alone. And by heightening our intuition, which actually it's always with us. We were born with it. It's part of who we are. We're simply rewiring and or removing the monkey mind, removing the ego, so to speak. And let me just say, ego is not a bad word. Your ego is not your shadow. Ego is not a bad side of you. Your ego is a sense of self. So we want to love this divine body that you have so lovingly chosen to be in, and all of the things, right? We want to lovingly embrace this human experience. Harnessing your intuition will help you connect greater. It will help you to be guided by the universe, source, God, spirit, cosmos, whomever you believe in as your creator. You are your own creator, right? Because we're all connected to oneness at a certain dimension, at a certain level. But tuning into your intuition and understanding the messages and how you're interpreting them and how you're receiving them, and then allowing yourself to be guided by them, is lovingly expressing your uniqueness out into the world. Yeah. And that is when we follow our dharma. That's when we follow our intuition, and we're not looking around going, oh, what are they doing? And should I be doing that because, they seem to be making money, or they seem to be getting likes, or they seem to be getting, like, they're getting something from it. And that's a perception, right? Remove perception, remove attachment. Like, perception is just our colored glasses and what we're looking into the world and perceiving others by. That's why questions are so powerful and so important. And the power of your questions will deeply integrate into the power of your life and the co-creation of the universe. And our intuition allows us, enables us more greatly to be able to do that. So, and then people confuse intuition with psychic abilities. The psychic abilities is just is a way of being able to interpret messages and symbols. And when you have psychic abilities, which I believe can be harnessed or developed like any other muscle, as is your intuition, is being able to then connect in with other people's realms, because we are feeling, seeing, doing, interpreting these messages that we're receiving. But intuition, if we look at the word itself, is intuition. So it's your inner guidance system that you are learning from. Tuition is learning, understanding, interpreting, right? So if we're heightening our intuition, then we can interpret that in the way that we know, or from previous experiences, or getting a greater understanding of it, or what feels right. And the next question I get often asked is, what's the difference between my intuition and my mind? Or how do I know what's intuition and what's not? Your intuition is always the quiet, calm sense of knowing. It just simply states this to be true. And then the monkey mind goes, oh, wait. And then chatter. Yeah. And then we start to doubt. And then there's fear. And then there's shame. And then there's the puffed up ego where it's like, but I want control and manipulation, or I need, or I want. And that's the difference between intuition and the ego self, or the monkey mind. And when I say the difference with the ego is, we want ego to be balanced. We want to love this beautiful body. We want to love our mind and all of its things, but we don't want to be overruled by it. We want to have a beautiful, balanced ego so that we have a great sense of self. We want to know who we are. We want to claim our sovereignty, and we want to live from that divine space of being by allowing ourselves to simply be without having to bang our chest and puff our chest, or having to think we have to be something, do something to claim it.
So on this path, when there's lots of learnings and challenges, and it feels like you just need a break from it, what do you do? Just say, come on, I'm ready for learning through ease and grace now. That's it. Like, just put that out there, or anything else?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. We don't want to bypass our lessons. We don't want to just go, oh, well, this is all part of my spiritual bypassing. This is all part of my human experience. So, I'm just going to sprinkle some love and light on it. And yes, we often need a break, right? Because the spiritual lessons is only from the attachment. Like, oh my God, if this feels heavy, if this feels painful, it's because often we have resisted listening to the messages along the way. Or, and then sometimes we see something break and or you can always see other people's stuff a little bit easier because there's no attachment and it's a little bit further away from ourselves. And we're like, oh, okay, I didn't see this for myself. We often are just too close to ourselves, obviously, that we can't see the wood for the trees. So yes, and I truly believe we can always have learning through ease and grace. May our life flow with ease and grace. And we are here to experience fun. We are here to experience play. And emotions, or energy in motion, is the, so to speak, quickest way to shift energy, to shift stuck energy. Because every experience and every moment you've ever had in your entire life until this point is stored in your cellular DNA, is stored in the memory in your body. And any pain, dis-ease, discomfort that you are feeling is often trapped energy and emotion. So we're wanting to shift that. We want to uncover that, unravel that, alchemize it, so to speak, and go bring it to love and light. Go, so So this pain that I'm feeling on my shoulder, it's me feeling like I have to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. I have to feeling like I have to support my whole family. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling like, and there's a lot of people that are like, yep, I got that. I've got kids, I've got work, I've got a home to support, men and women, right? And they're feeling that burden. They're feeling like the world is the weight of their shoulders. So if you're starting to experience shoulder pain or neck pain or tight tension, because, when we're tense, we do this. We're here to have fun and play. There's ways of lightening the load. There's ways, consciousness in itself is transformative. Awareness in itself is transformative. Once you realize that of course, I'm feeling overwhelmed. How can I lighten this load? Is this true? And these are great questions to ask of yourself, greater consciousness, and of loved ones who can support you through this process. It's like, is this mine? Is this true? What am I, do I have to carry everything for everyone, or can I empower others by saying, this is yours and this is mine, which is why boundaries are so important. Yeah. So that this is where my energy begins and your energy ends, and where your energy ends and mine begins. We're owning our own garden, we're owning our own soul, we're owning our own experiences lovingly. And I don't want to be carrying people's stuff, because it's not mine to carry. But I want to lovingly help and support you through that. And by saying love and light, I'm not by all means bypassing or condoning experiences that people have had, because God knows I've had some trauma happen in my life too. But then the awareness of itself, the greater understanding of what it is, and uncovering that, like, the beauty in that, the strength that comes from that, and then allowing it to move through your body. So you're no longer harnessing it or holding on to that pain, holding on to that experience, and holding on to that lesson. So we do want to learn with ease and grace and flow and fun and play, because that's part of the human experience. Like, life is meant to be fun. Like, there's that old saying, life wasn't meant to be easy. Well, yeah, it was. Yeah, it is. But it's our ego, or it's our human self, or our style of, before we learned the law of attraction and working with the laws of the universe, which is a very powerful teaching. Like you said, the law of free will. It's actually a universal law. Yeah. Part of that is fun and play, ease and grace. Like, everyone fears karma, but karma is like reciprocity. It's a beautiful energy of circulation, cause and effect. So fun play is part of our human experience, and also a way of releasing some of our trauma. Releasing, again, not with bypassing, but seeing for the gift that it is, and like, cool, now that I've learned that, and I'm choosing, again, not to repeat a cycle, repeat a pattern, then we invite more fun and play in our lives. We can invite more like-minded souls and connection, and by that means we're not numbing, we're not drugging, we're not numbing our sensitivities. We want to heighten, and we want to express, and we want to do this in such a way where it's being held in a space of love, but it's always the right space for the right moment as well. So being a little bit conscious of where you are and who you're with to express certain things, making sure you're held in that, to feel safe, supported in this beautiful earthly realm.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I love the spirit of play and meeting new people and connecting and everything like that. And I mean, I guess there's just some situations, you could be somewhere and maybe not everyone has the best intentions, or someone wants
Yeah.
to, sabotage or something. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I just, because I see the best in everyone, sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like I don't realize that's happening until after the fact. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that person was not having the best intentions for me. And like,
Yeah.
so then it kind of does make me want to withdraw a little bit, and then just go, well, I'm only want to be more in situations that I can control or I feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would like to sort of heal that part of me a bit more, but, so I can really go where I want and experience what I want at that next level. So it's interesting, because I feel like that's my key learning at the moment.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, thank you for that beautiful moment of vulnerability and sharing. So many people will resonate with that so deeply and go, how do we travel through this? How do we navigate through this? Because when we have been taken advantage of, or when we've had a vulnerable moment, is often where someone wants to like come in and like manipulate us, or as you said, didn't have the best intentions for us because it's kind of been in their own intention, right? And then lovingly go, cool, I see back. This reflection is a powerful tool, but we just don't want to live there. We don't want to be constantly looking back. So, which is why journaling is so powerful. It enables us to reflect and like, okay, so when I see this and this and this, was there anything in that my intuition was showing me or telling me or communicating with me at the time that I didn't quite pick up? Or did they really come in as sheep in a wolf in sheep's clothing? I don't want to get that the wrong way around. I love wolves, but only when they're being in their authentic self. So it's like, okay, then you'll see those moments and like, okay, so now I see that experience was for me to really tune into my beautiful body, to really ensure that I retain my sovereignty at any one moment. Yes, when we were with a beloved partner or like family that we truly trust and we can truly surrender into, that's a space where we can be in a true vulnerable state. When we're doing that, it's a powerful, powerful moment. And we want to be in a space, and I choose that word want very carefully, where we are always in surrender to the universe. Because when we gather those lessons and go, okay, next time I know that when I feel this, my intuition is telling me something, and I can tune in at any moment. Does he have the right intentions, or do they not have the right intentions for me? And by tuning into my awareness, and often we're like, oh, but I don't have the chance to. And I'm like, you always have a chance for breath. Reclaim your sovereignty. And if someone is pushing your boundaries, express. I just need a moment. Thank you for your patience. I just need one moment. And if they're push, then that's not in your best intentions. Yeah. By activating your voice and expressing your boundary, just give me a moment. And doing so lovingly is enabling you to reclaim some of that sovereignty and feeling that you can really tune back into your intuition. Yeah. Because we've all been in situations where we have felt like, yeah, been vulnerable, we've shared, or someone has come into our realm like, oh, and then that experience has been for us to tune in, to remember the lessons, or to tune in a little bit deeper into signatures or like sensitivities that are coming through, because we're like a radio station. We're always emitting energy. Yeah. And we always want to be, so that we can attract the right-minded people to us. And those experiences are here for us to express boundaries. Okay, this one isn't serving me. I can feel your intention now. Feel like it's like pushing a boundary. And sometimes having your boundaries pushed is a good thing. Sometimes it's like, okay, you need to have some more fun and play. And then sometimes it's like, oh no, this is me reinforcing my boundary because this is where I'm at and I'm okay with that. So they're a good thing. Boundaries are always a powerful thing, a very powerful way of reclaiming your sovereignty, but it's also nice to have them tested occasionally with your love and grace. Right? It's like when your girlfriend says, you need some more water, my love. I'm like, no, I've had enough today. Often it's not, well, in that case, usually it's more food or more alcohol or something, depending on your friend circle. It's like, no, I've had enough. Then you often hear people going, oh, I had too much drink. I was in a social situation, or peer pressure can be a powerful thing, right? But reclaiming your sovereignty is always like, I felt that intention. I went against my intuition, and then now I know that next time I've learned something. And when we are daily having a practice, and I believe daily rituals are so, so powerful. So every morning I wake up and I connect. I would give deep gratitude for this existence and give deep gratitude for my life and for my connection to source. I connect and I do some rituals. It's me enabling to be connected back into my body. So and then set beautiful boundaries. So when I leave for the day, when I interact with other people in the day, I know where our energy ends and begins. Yeah, and it enables us to gather those lessons and navigate this world a little bit more connected to ourselves. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Well, and
yeah. Okay. No, you go.
I was just going to say, we always want to trust and surrender the universe. So one of my mantras is, I'm in full flow with the universe. I'm in full trust and surrender to the universe. And let me tell you, when you fully surrender, that is full freedom. It is full mastery. It is full responsibility. It is full awareness, but it's full surrender in the universe. And that's the true trust and vulnerability we really desire.
Yeah, because that feels, when we're most alive, we feel more most on purpose and most in flow and most aligned. And it's like we don't need to overthink things if we listen to those, hunches and whisperings. And it's like that analogy, feather brick truck.
Yes, messages from spirit. Yeah.
So when we're listening to them initially, it's like it does feel good, right? And yeah. So yeah, I guess the only thing that I'm thinking about intuition is when you are triggered, then you're in a state of flight or fright. So you can't really connect with your intuition, because then fear steps in and that panicky feeling in your mind and your doubt. And it's like if you're doing a lot of releasing from your nervous system, it's like, do you know what I mean? It feels a little bit, sometimes a little bit tumultuous when you're in the thick of it. And then when you calm down, right, and you're not being triggered so much, then it's like, well, you can just be more in flow, really. Yeah.
That's such a powerful point. Thank you for raising that again. Just when we are triggered, activated, we are in fight, flight, or freeze. And that's a natural autonomic response. That is our reptilian brain saying to us, I mean, like there's a saber-toothed tiger. What are we going to do? Right? We're in fear, full fear. And fear can have one of those things until we shift that, as you said, doing the trauma release, doing the reprogramming, rechanging our habits. So, okay, and that it comes from experiences, which is why we have them. So what might trigger you might be a 0 to me, might be a 10 for you. Or I might have an 8 for something. You're like, that's a 0 for me, because we have different experiences that enable us to respond differently to an activation or a trigger. And that's why everyone has a different experience. And then often we come to a guide, mentor is like, oh, I've had this thing happen to me. And they're like, oh, well, when this happens, I respond this way. But being compassionate with yourself is a beautiful way of then not coming into shame, blame, or guilt. I'm sure we've all had an experience at some stage where we've shamed ourselves. And we can do that by, oh, you should have known better. You should have done better. You should have done this. So you should have, right? Should just be eliminated from our vocabulary because it feels like we should have done something differently. And then, yes, if we're repeatedly in the same cycle, doing the same thing day in, day out, or week in, week out, year in, year out, then, okay, we're not learning the lesson. We're repeating the cycle. And that's when I'm already hearing people say, oh, but. And it's like, you have the power of choice. And I appreciate, and I have been doing this work for, personally myself, for 40 plus years and teaching others for 20. Like, can you see the shift in dynamic here? Can you see how we're never repeating the cycle completely? It's always from a greater lesson of knowledge. And the moment we bring that compassion and love to it and awareness to it, it's like, oh, actually, I have had this experience similarly. How did I respond that time? How can I respond this time? Because often we're like, oh, next time that happens, I'm going to do this and this and this. And then it happens and we're like, oh, no, froze again. That's okay. That's okay. That compassion will enable you to learn, grow, inspire, expand. Yeah. It's only when we live shame, blame, and guilt. Yeah. And there's a lot of religions that love guilt. I was brought up in a very religious household, and shame, blame, and guilt were our things. And as human beings, I was raised that, we should always be in the fear of God, and we should always carry shame, blame, and guilt because we're from sin. Wow. Like, that's the most unloving thing you could ever project onto somebody. But if you can show it love and compassion and healing, then you can really embrace this human experience and have fun and play. So showing yourself compassion when those moments happen, those triggers and those activations happen, whether you fight, flight, or freeze, and go, okay, resetting your nervous system. The trauma release response is so powerful and so important. So you react less and respond more. Because the reaction is like, moment, or then it happens, it happens less and less and less. And I'm not saying continuously reactivating yourself every time you have that experience. Like, resetting your nervous system, recalibrating your nervous system is a very powerful tool. And there's many ways that we can do that, even from home, let alone going to someone who can do this for us, guide us through this. is very powerful. And part of that daily practice that you can do for yourself is forgiveness protocols and the trauma release, and dance and play. Like 5 minutes of your day, put on some music. No one has to see you. Go crazy and just feel your body and let it move. Because the more in your body that you are, the more you are able to reclaim your sovereignty, the more embodiment, the deeper intuition and inner learnings and inner knowledge you'll be able to express. And you really come from that. I love this beautiful body. I love who I am. And then you can lovingly express that to others. And that's when we really start to magnetize greater experiences and learnings from art to us, for us, by us, by being.
Well said. So when you do rituals in the morning, is there anything you can share that might be useful for someone to try?
Daily practices. I always I giggle because it's like I hear people like always say I don't have time, but we always have time for what we value. Yeah. So before I leave the house, I get up an hour earlier. And yes, I left the house at 3 a.m. at times to do events or to catch flights and things. I'm up an hour earlier to do my morning ritual, my morning or waking ritual, rising ritual, because that time is for me. No one else, nothing else, just pure me and source and spirit and all of the spirit realm and all of this earthly realm, because I'm inviting in all of the elements. So as which I connect with all of the elements. That's so powerful for me. And even if you don't connect with that word, you're an earthling, human being. The word human is actually derived from godlike. The word hu, H-U, is ancient African and ancient Egyptian saying you are godlike. Being is a state. You're not doing, you're being. So by being human in this earthly realm, is this godlike energy and source connected to earth. We're earthly beings. So showing deeper love and gratitude to this divine Mother Earth who loves and supports you and nurtures you and protects you and feeds you, and everything comes from this earth. Your breath is the element of air. There's always an incredible abundance of it. All your food is derived from Mother Earth. Yeah. All the nature and all the plants and all of the animals come from this earth, which is your blood and your bones. Deep gratitude for that. Your home is part of this earth. It was constructed from elements of this earth. Deep gratitude from that. The sun, its life force giving energy, shines on everyone so brilliantly and equally. Gratitude. So daily gratitude is the most powerful element and practice you can always have. And no matter how dark your state is, no matter how heavy you could be feeling or overwhelmed, the way to shift that is practicing gratitude and claiming 3 things you're grateful for. That you can breathe, that you still have your health and some element of it, and that you still have your power of your mind, your thoughts. Yeah. So I have this belief system that no matter how incarcerated you are or how incapacitated you are, no one can ever take over your mind unless you give them permission. By reclaiming your mind, you're reclaiming your heart, you're reclaiming your soul. No one can ever take those things from you. So that's a beautiful practice, and expressing deep gratitude for those things every morning. So gratitude is a powerful practice. I always want to be in my body. So I take a few deep breaths, and I always recommend a 4-fold breath to start with. Powerful breath work, powerful breath medicine. Our head can get away with us. Our heart can do its own thing. Our breath will bring it alchemy. Our breath will always either heighten or calm. Always, we can do everything with our breath. It's a powerful tool. So a 4-fold breath is breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, hold on empty for a count of 4, and cycle that 4 times. So you could do your morning ritual in 5 minutes flat. Gratitude, breath work. I always love some form of movement. stretch. Like we're going to stretch when we get out of bed. Just connect you back with your body. Feel your fingers, feel your toes, and bring it all back and feel your heart. Hands over your heart. Deep gratitude for this body. Deep gratitude for this life. Deep gratitude for this earth and all beings. And that's a beautiful way of starting some practice. And then I do love to journal because reflection is so powerful without judgment. Just write. And if you are wanting to develop your intuitions, like start to free flow. Some journal prompts are always great. How am I feeling today? How would I like my day to flow? And taking a few moments to imagine your day flowing with ease and grace and fun and play, and imagine yourself laughing, imagining yourself receiving, imagine yourself giving. Yeah. And from the heart. Breathe out into your heart, out through your heart, because our heart emanates 6 feet beyond. It's 1.5 meters. Funny how that was our social distancing realm, right? So we want to draw that back into you and imagine you lighting people up through as you walk through your day. Imagine them lighting you up. And they're just a few little things that you can do every morning to reground you. And big glass of water upon rising, because we are made of water. And bless your water, please, always. That beautiful deep gratitude. Some transformational practices that will shift your world. That's how we get to greater levels of consciousness. You don't have to do big stuff. You don't have to make grand gestures. Like, I am a very simple witch. Like the most simple things are the easiest. You don't need rituals. Well, there's always rituals, right? I'm a ceremonial witch too. But if you're stranded on an island and all you have is this body, are you telling me you can't weave love, magic, and miracles? Of course you can. You have everything you need inside of you. So that through that power of choice and that power of awareness, oh my gosh, if I have nothing else other than who I am, what I believe, then I already have everything I ever need. And that simple awareness and consciousness will enable you to shift the dynamic. And that's how we elevate. That's how we bring higher, greatest levels of consciousness into the world. And of course, your vibe attracts your tribe. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on to a winner lately with all my wonderful guests. So thank you for reconfirming that. Yeah. I love the energy and the intention that you put into what you speak into and how you perceive life. Yeah, that's really elevating and activating in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you. And I want to remind everyone that you have everything within you. You don't need anything else. Yeah. And yes, we need money to pay rent. And yes, we have bills. And yes, we have things, but that's all still choice. Yeah. So bring loving conscious awareness to the choices you've made, gratitude for those choices, and then the energy will start to shift. A greater level of consciousness will start to shift. Gratitude for your home, gratitude for your body. And then that's how we bring this fun and play into life. And we can attract greater things. So if you're wanting to learn the laws of manifestation, learning the laws of connecting with the universe, then that's learning the laws of yourself. Yeah, because nothing outside of you doesn't already start to be activated within you. And we often say, when I have that, I will feel better. Like when I have the love of my life, then I will feel whole. You're not whole. You're not broken. Right? And I think that came from, there was a movie where it says, you complete me. No one completes you. You complete yourself. And yes, we have soul flames, twin flames, soul mates, soul families. Yes, absolutely. And there is a belief system that your soul flame is the other half of your soul that we're reincarnating in this lifetime to reconnect. It's a beautiful perception, if you so wish. But you are whole unto yourself. And if you're wanting to attract more money, more love, more things into your life, because you're doing so from a space of love. If more money is going to give you more abilities to help more people, connect with more people, awaken more people, enliven more people, support more people, be more of service, then yeah. But if you're wanting it for a space of lack, scarcity, I need it for this, or I need a greater car or greater things, or, to feel a hole or void in your heart, then you'll always feel like it's never enough. And I truly believe we can have everything. I'm a woman, I want it all, right? And when they all merge and when all of my hierarchy of values align, then you truly can have it all. Because it's coming from a space of love and a space of service to humanity and self. And that's where we truly want to be. So then we can attract more money. We attract the love of our life. We attract our soul partner, our divine counterpart. We attract beautiful, like-minded beings. And we're also able to support and elevate community consciousness, connect to the greater consciousness, elevate the planet, elevate each other. Because, by saying, I know this better than you, then it's like, oh, it's just a perception. Well, everyone's your teacher. Everyone is a master of where they are at. And expressing that and allowing that and sharing, pure magic, pure miracles, and pure love.
Right. So how can people find you and work with you then?
Thank you. Deep gratitude for enabling this platform, for connecting with like-minded beings. So deeply grateful. So thank you for that, first, Alina. Deep gratitude for you for holding this space, and for your beautiful listeners for connecting with you. Deep gratitude for them, and for anyone who's connecting to this podcast and anyone else's that you've tuned into at any time. Deep gratitude for you, because you're seeking this, and that is a great thing. And again, we're wanting to find love and support. Nothing outside of us. It's just this little remembering of who we are. And that's who we are here for. And that's who I'm here for. I'm here to support, empower, and educate people who are wanting to reclaim more of themselves, reclaim their mastery, reclaim their sovereignty, and express those beautiful divine gifts out into the earthly realm and above and beyond. So connecting with me, thank you, my love. I'm on Instagram. I'm _Aida.Jasmine. Through Soulfinity, I have a beautiful Soulfinity page. I hold workshops, events, online, oh my God, platforms. So many things. I also, social media. I'm available through my website. Connect through. I offer mentoring packages. Divine feminine embodiment mastery, ascension mastery. So we'll have a few more workshops and courses and things that will be available throughout the year. So you can work with me one-on-one, or I have some courses that will be released in the new year so that for wherever you're at, and just trusting that for wherever you're at is absolutely perfect. So if you think people are above you or below you, it's like we're all living this beautiful earthly experience and we're all gathering knowledge along the way. So trusting that you will find whoever you need at the perfect moment, put it out to the universe. Who can support me in uncovering this? And then watch the universe support you in that. So there was some different ways in reaching out. We can put all of the links in the bio below. And I would absolutely love to continue to support, mentor, educate, and empower beautiful beings of light.
Thank you. Thank you. Magic.
Thank you, beautiful.